Now our oaths are lost, forsaken. And you must face the monsters our sins have borne. Is an oath worth the weight of a crown?
With the recent announcement of Avowed by Obsidian, many fans have become quite excited by the prospect of experiencing the developer's latest project. In case you are unaware, Avowed actually shares lore and is connected in a way with another project that Obsidian worked on in the past. Some of you might remember it as Project Eternity. Others will remember it as the critically acclaimed Pillars of Eternity series. After the reveal, many fans of the developers are yearning to learn more about the universe in which the game will take place. A universe which I adore. So, I have decided on taking everyone on a journey through the tales of Pillars of Eternity. And where better to start than the world itself, the World of Eora. Eora is a world that bears many striking similarities to our own Earth. It is a rocky planet that orbits a star akin to our Sun, and has many vast oceans and numerous continents. Unlike our world though, Eora has 2 moons, though the majority of the world's population are unaware of the existence of this second moon. The larger moon, which is visible in the night sky, with a size approximately that of Earth's moon, is known as Sen Balafa, or Andra's beloved. Andra is the god of the seas, and many believe that she fell in love with the moon, thereby explaining its name. There is another smaller moon known as the Black Runner, or Kalda Deb to a population on Eora known as Glanfathans. Many people don't know of this moon's existence, but that it has a very fast and irregular orbit. There was, however, yet another moon that orbited Eora in the past. By the events of Pillars of Eternity, this moon had ceased to exist for quite an important reason, which we will discuss in a future episode when we talk about the stories of the moons. Eora is a world that supports many walks of life. The civilized races, or kith, on the planet vary considerably in their appearance, cultures, and beliefs. We will explore these races in more depth in upcoming episodes. For now, let us have a glance at the various kith of Eora, which are uncovered in the events of Pillars of Eternity. Similar to our world, Eora hosts beings known as humans, or folk. They are quite varied in their ethnicity, comprising of meadow folk, savanna folk, ocean folk, and storm folk. They are known for their indomitable spirit as well as their strength and willpower. Elves also exist in this world and have an appearance typical of the elves we witness in many works of art. They are shorter in stature compared to humans, but are known for their high level of intelligence and terrifying speed. They are, however, quite solitary in nature. Dwarves are found throughout the world and are a diminutive race that are known for their tenacity and strength. They have many colonies and are the race that are considered the most widespread throughout the world. Almawa are a towering race and are the largest of all kith. They are known to have an affinity to water, and many of their colonies are founded in coastal areas. Among the kith, they are known for their unparalleled strength. Orlans are the smallest kith in Eora. They are quite a hirsute race, meaning they are hairy all over, including their faces. The race has experienced a great deal of distrust and discrimination throughout history as being a race of savage and bloodthirsty monsters, though this claim is largely unfounded in most parts of the world. They are known especially for their unparalleled resolve and speed. The final race that we will talk about are species that inhabit the planet known as godlikes. Godlikes are technically one of the previous races we discussed. However, before birth, they are blessed by a deity, and this gives rise to many interesting facial and body features, as well as mystical powers associated with their specific deity. Although some societies consider this a blessing and revere godlikes as incarnations of the gods, others consider them as mutants, abominations. There was in the past another race, now extinct, that inhabited the planet. They were known as engiwthans, and their stories, as well as the stories of all the races and gods of Eora, will be covered in great depth in the future. Although it is known that there are many continents on Eora, there haven't been any official releases of high-quality maps that explain their relations. A few maps, however, have surfaced based on the tabletop version of Pillars of Eternity that give us a basic idea of what the continents may look like. The continents of Eora vary greatly in their topography, climate, and biodiversity. They are home to many of the kith of Eora, as well as countless species of plants and animals. Some wildlife and flora might be familiar to us, for example, boars. However, others not so much. Aedir is possibly one of the largest nations and perhaps the most powerful, though at least by the events of Pillars of Eternity, this prowess has been questioned by some. It is a continent that comprises heavily of humans and elves. Some describe Aedirans as having a feudal social structure that has a monarchy of sorts. Boudica is worshipped heavily on this continent. She is the god of justice and oaths, sometimes referred to as the Oathbinder, or the Queen That Was. Her story, as well as the stories of the other gods in this universe, are quite interesting to say the least. We will cover them in great depth. Old Valia was once the home of a powerful, though now defunct empire. It was there that the Grand Empire of Valia originated, but eventually crumbled to dust due to various conflicts. It is now a continent that has mostly a human and dwarf population of warring merchant guilds. Colonists from this great empire, at some point in the past, made the journey across the vast oceans to the land of the Eastern Reach, where they formed the now quite prominent Valian republics. This nation consists mostly of ocean folk and dwarves following a Renaissance-like culture, possibly inspired by real-world Italy. The Eastern Reach is home to many other nations too. The story of the original Pillars of Eternity game took place in a region of the Eastern Reach known as the Deerwood. You, as the protagonist, traveled from your homeland to this region of Eora with a band of companions. Though, after certain events involving the Pillars of Adra, you became awakened as a Watcher. The Watcher. The story of the original game is complex and will require many episodes for me to cover in its entirety, but we will definitely talk about this soon. The Deerwood and the nation it borders, Reitzeros, were both former colonies of Aedir. After many wars, these two countries gained their independence from the Empire and put a stop to the Aediran practice of plundering Adra pillars in the region of Glanfath, the old home of the now extinct engiwthan race. These countries consist mostly of humans, elves, and Orlans. To the north, there is also the Ixamtal Plains, which are vast, fertile savannas, home to many meadowfolk and Orlans. They lead a peaceful society and have not expanded their borders in a very long time. Many of the kith that populate the area are nomadic in nature, and scholarship and philosophy are highly valued in their society. Towards the east of this continent is the massive expanse of islands known as the Deadfire Archipelago. It is the setting for the second Pillars of Eternity game, and its islands are hotly contested by various countries due to its rich resources. It is primarily the home of island Almawa tribes. To the north of the islands is a great expanse of the Empire of Rautai, where many of the ancient Alma from the Deadfire traveled to in the past. It is now the home of the great Rautaian Empire, whose coastal cities are a hub of trade for merchants throughout the world. The Gulf of Rautai, however, is known for being pummeled with storms, making its residents a resilient and hardy people. There are two other continents that not much is known about, namely the Living Lands and the White That Wends. The Living Lands is a frontier island to the north of Edir and is said to be the home of wondrous, ginormous plants and animals. The population of this region is unknown for the most part, but dwarves, being an expansive race, are known to be found here. To the very south is a massive expanse of ice known as the White That Wends. Some books that you can find in-game describe a terrifyingly cruel climate, home to many monsters the likes the majority of the world have never seen. It is the home of boreal dwarves, as well as an ancient civilization of pale elves, the Glamfelin, who originated there. Their society values sharing and compassion, qualities that help them survive in the harsh climate. So there we have it. This is a small insight into the world of Eora, the setting of the upcoming game Avowed. Although there has been much speculation about the specifics in terms of timeline and precise setting for the game, we likely will not know much about this until Obsidian enlighten us in the future. In the meanwhile, however, if you're interested in learning more about the world, why not join me as we explore the rich and expansive lore through the Tales of Pillars of Eternity.